My name's James Deacon, and in the last few years I've become obsessed with darts. It's all I think about. So I've had this idea. I'm going to immerse myself in the darting universe by meeting as many pros as possible. On the way, I'm going to grab as many throwing tips as I can, so that me and you other Johnny-come-latelys can look semi-decent down the pub. This is Seeing Double. For this first episode, I'm joined by none other than the fastest dart slinger in the North, Hamptonshire area. It's Rapid Ricky Evans. You'll know Ricky from his hilarious walk on antics, his unbelievably fast throwing speed, and all those viral videos of him throwing a 180 in 2 seconds. I love chatting to him. As you'll hear, Ricky is an absolute gent and is a completely open book about his time in the sport. Just quickly, before we get into the chat, we videoed the whole thing too, so as well as following this feed for all your podcast needs, head over to Seeing Double Darts on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok to see more. We played some games with him and Ricky was kind enough to play me at 101. Right, enough of this, it's time for Seeing Double with Rapid Ricky Evans. Ricky, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate
No problem.
it. I think we're going to go back to the beginning for darts for you, if you're happy to go back
Yeah,
there. Let's start at the start. How and when did you first start playing darts?
From what I remember, I was 3 years old. Just my dad used to be a very good county league, pub league, in here where we are today. He'd be at the bar, standing there, and as young as I was, if I was 3 or 4, whatever I were, I'd have a board on a chair, not as high as obviously the men could throw, and I'd just lob them at the board. And as years went on, I think I got to about 9 and 10, and I moved up to the 7'9.25" distance.
Yeah.
And apparently I was good. And from then it just was like a hobby, and then obviously a job now. But
Amazing.
the love came for it when I was about 11. My first ever comp, got to a final as a boy, and yeah.
Do you remember, just to take it back one step to like that 7-8-year-old, did you realise were there other 7-8-year-olds playing?
Not that I know of.
No.
I was oblivious to it. I was just, maybe if there was someone else, one of my dad's friends had a boy or a girl like my kind of age, we'd have a little just mess about. But yeah, I had no idea what darts were. No, it was just one of them things. All dad's on in a minute, I'll give him his darts back. It was just one of them, yeah.
That's 25 years of playing darts at this stage.
That's it. I'm a veteran at a young age.
That is incredible
Yeah,
to me. Yeah. Okay, so you're 11 and you start to win competitions and stuff. Where does it go from there? Like, what happens?
Basically, there's a lot of festivals and comps around in, like, obviously seaside resorts and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I just went along. Like I said, my dad was a very keen player. Used to go with a few of his mates. And he said, we'll bring Rick along. Rick will play. Bought me a set of darts, set of flights, and took me about an hour to pick all the colours.
Yeah.
And he'd be doing what men would do on a weekend: have a drink, have a laugh, have a disco. And there'd be like 10 boards in the corner, and he'd give me a tenner, and it'd be like 6 hours later I'd come back.
Yeah.
So I'd be practicing darts all day, and it was just like, I'm 11 years old, and it was just like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah,
Most lads were like,
it's
finding
amazing though.
zoo and nuts were, or watching football. Well, not me, I was playing darts all day. It was just weird.
Just J2Os on the side.
I'd run home from school as well and just play darts, yeah.
So you had a set up at home?
Yeah. As soon as I realised I was quite a steady youth player, yeah. I think I was the youngest ever county player at one stage in the men's. And then I got picked for England as a youth, like I think I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa. And then I realised I was quite steady then, yeah.
Yeah.
When you get picked for your country, obviously, you think you're quite good. But
what was that experience like at that age? Were you the youngest?
I wish I kind of knew, because it was just like just a kid playing darts.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I go into every event, like I study everything, I have to do everything right, prepare. Then them days it was get up, play darts, win, lose, cry, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, mum and dad would console me at the end, but it was just weird. But I wish I could go back and just relive it, because it was just not as serious as what it is now, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd love to do it all again, because obviously I'm an older man, and wiser. I know what to do. I'd probably win a few more things because
Yeah.
I probably did a few things wrong back then. But yeah,
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about natural ability like in a minute, but obviously you had that, and so there's a lot of the game now that's like very technical. Like when you're preparing now, is that there's a lot of technicalities. But at the time, were you thinking about that? Where you put your elbow, where at the weight you position
not
your body,
really.
or you just chuck it?
I've just got a very basic lob and throw, just boom, boom, boom. That's me. As a kid, we'll probably go into it later.
Yeah.
I'm fast.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was a lot faster. My second arm was up here. It was like getting out of my hands as quick as I can. And I think there's a couple of YouTube videos when I was 15, 16, and people that like darts fans or ex-pros, fella pros are going, what is that? That is mental. It's just, it's just the way I was as a kid. Just see them, lob them. And that's how I am.
Yeah. So part of this is like we'll have a lot of people that are quite new to darts that are like starting to play like as adults in this. So we're trying to work out if you can get good at darts with lots of practice, or are the top dart players like yourself born with some magic ingredient? What do you think?
It's got to be a bit of both, hasn't it? It's got to be. I know people that have grafted. They're not probably as good as me, but they're probably higher in the rankings than me, and that's just pure wanting it more, and maybe that's what I need, a bit of fight, a bit of grit, because like I said, natural talent, I'm probably up there. I have to be up there. There's people have told me all my life. My manager would tell me, you've got the game. I've got the game to be top 8 in the world. Just probably haven't got the head to do it at the minute. That's what I'm working on, and hopefully one day, or hopefully this week, or not next week, but this year is the year I'll break through into where I should be really. But yeah, there's players on tour that are probably harder, probably 6 hours on the board every day, and I couldn't do that. No, that's just not me. But I could do 2 hours, 3 hours quite easily, and that's enough for me. I'm not the biggest practicer in the world, but I do practice. But I couldn't do what they do, craft like that.
Obviously, you are known for being a fast thrower, but aside from the speedy throw, like, I need to ask about the walk-ons and that fun that you have with the audience. It's a bit of a trademark for you. So how did that all start?
I think it's just me in general. I think everyone knows that I'm a bit of a weirdo, a bit of a clown. I like to make people smile. Like I mentioned my dad earlier. My dad collects like masks and accessories, fancy dress, stuff like that. Like celebrity latex masks and all this. And we must have about 200 at home, and if I could bring them all out onto TV, it'd be amazing.
Are you not allowed?
Different props. I think we could do, but I think it's like copyright, I'm guessing. I'm guessing a few of the bigger names, like we've got a few like your Trumps, your Bin Ladens, I don't think they go down well in your leisure centres and the O2 Arena. George Bush walks on stage, or Kim Jong-un or something. I don't think it'll work, but we've got like Bruce Forsyth and people like that where it might be a bit better, like do the old Brucey.
I've been following you a while, and like I saw during lockdown, like you were getting those out and getting out in the garden with some masks on that.
Oh, we could have done it I missed lockdown because we used to make people laugh and smile, but it was just one of them things. It was just something to do and killed a bit of time. But I used to plan it all week, like Thursday 8:00. Wear this, Dad, or whatever. We're doing this, synchronised it or whatever, and it was just us. Literally, I've said it in many interviews. My dad is me in 30 years, and I will be the same as him. He's an idiot. It's just, but I'll tell you what, if he went into the pro league game or whatever, and if he was doing the tour like me, he'd be the same idiot on stage as well. I know he would. I think it's just an Evans thing.
There's one other thing I wanted to ask you about it. YMCA. How did you land on that?
Just everyone knows it, don't they?
Yeah.
Every disco I've been to, every wedding, whatever, it's always there, and everyone knows YMCA, and it's nothing to do with me being a clown or a party animal or whatever. It's just everyone knows it. I do Agadoo. I must have walked onto 30 songs before, and it's just if there is any ideas out there and if you think it's better, I'd do it, because if you get the crowd on your side, get them cheering for you, it does help a little bit. It just gives you an extra.
Well, I was thinking that, like, when you walk onto YMCA, it's like, sometimes players walk on, I won't name any names, they walk onto a song and it's like, the song's fine. But not everyone knows.
There's a lot of boring songs.
Yeah, a lot of boring songs. But you walk onto YMCA, everyone's on their feet.
Exactly.
Everyone's singing on. Does it give you a nice feeling when you get on the stage?
Of course, because you've seen all these people here are dancing for you, just because you've got a song that's just out there, whatever, 70s number 1 or whatever it were.
Yeah.
It's just one of them, and they dress up, and they're all dressed up. There might be a cowboy or a policeman in the crowd going, it's just one of them. It's just, but like I said, I love walking on. That's the best bit for me. That's the most nervous part as well, because you don't want to get booed, you don't want to get whistled and jeered. So it's like, get them on your side, get the crowd on your side, and they can go home that night and go, Ricky Evans was a bit of fun. I enjoyed his walk on with his silly hat and whatever, goggles.
Well, that makes sense now that you've explained it. I mean, like, it's really fun to wear those things, but it's nice to know that it's rooted in family as well.
Yeah.
Your dad has all that stuff.
He's the reason. He made me the person I am, so it worked for him. I want to play darts, like I said earlier, so it's kind of a way of going, cheers, Dad. But yeah, I want to do more. I'm thinking of more things to do, because I'm like we said, YMCA is good, but there's got to be better. There's got to be better somewhere. That's why I do the Christmas one. Christmas,
yes,
obviously, Ali Pally.
Of course.
It's not darts about Christmas, so and they always seem to put me on the last game before Christmas. I wonder why, because I'm the one that wears the hat and does the Shaking Stevens jig or whatever you call it. But
it's an absolute tune, that.
Yeah,
can't beat it. There's nothing wrong with a bit of shaking.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I was there for your first game.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about it a little bit.
Was that the early one, the Simon Adams?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And it was great. The atmosphere in there was amazing. So you're right. It makes sense to stick you on
Exactly.
before
Yeah.
Christmas.
I mean, I expected to get a bit of booze, not booze, but the crowd against, because I was the big favourite in that game, and it was against a debutant from Africa.
Yeah.
He was a lovely man, and it was like, I've got to beat this guy now. I've got to literally ruin his Christmas and his career. Not career, but I've got to ruin his 2023. And it's like, they're gonna boo me. I'm gonna go 2-0 up, and they're gonna boo me. And luckily, I just kept it in.
It's amazing to hear you talk like that, because I imagine a lot of players aren't thinking like that. So it's nice to hear that compassion that you've got, like, before you go on, because. Again, I won't name any names, but you can imagine some players are like ruthless. They just get on, they just wipe that one out the way and then move on.
Like I said before, I've got to be like ruthless like that. I've got to be stuff what the crowd thinks, stuff what everyone else thinks. Win.
You have to win, yeah.
If people don't like you, if people hate you, if they slag you off, call you a knob, beat them. And then off stage, you can shake hands and punch each other if you have to. It's just, I'm not a violent person. I don't think I've ever been warned or had a... been told off on the tour. So maybe I need a couple of tellings off, like stop squaring up to players, or I haven't got it in me. But
wow, I mean, I can't imagine it happening.
You'd be amazed how many on tour, like if they lose a game, they're like squaring up to each other or outside now, and it's like, at the end of the day, it's a career, it's a job, so it hurts when you lose it.
Really?
I'm just a very get me in the hotel room, then I'll sulk, then I'll moan on Facebook or whatever, and it's like...
It was interesting to hear that side, because I listened to an interview with Glenn Durrant the other day, and he talked about losing to Dimmy and going back to his hotel room, 50-year-old man, getting on the bed and having a cry.
I bet, the amount of times I've cried. I've cried when I lost to Gurney last year, literally 3 weeks ago, because I should have won. It hurts. It hurts when you know you should have won as well, and it's and then you have to watch the next day, and it's like, should be there still, and it's like, oh, man. And then they're all bigging up other players around your ranking, and you're like, that should be me, and it's like, oh. But then you have to use it as like tackling fuel, and like, this year I'm going to do that, and then next year you say it again, and you say, I'm 44 years old now, and it's like that. But no, every year I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to prove them wrong this year, but I still believe I'm going to do it one year, so.
Yeah, I believe
you have to believe. There's no point turning up if you don't believe.
Obviously, we can't have a chat without talking about the speed that you throw. Have you always been a fast thrower? You kind of spoke about
mentally fast. I was literally ridiculous. It was not even. I've done 180s under 2 seconds before at home and in local comps. The older I've got, the wiser I've got. Yeah. Apparently, I've slowed down a little bit. The first start is always key with me. With your fast throwers, it's get that first start right. They clack as a way rhythm. Yeah. But if your first start's a bit off, you're chasing around the board. It looks a bit messy, and it's. I'm better at like your combination finishes when it's fast, because you're going boom 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 instead of if you're at 3 at a double and you're throwing at that speed, you're all going to go. If you're going to miss the first, you're probably going to miss with the second and third. So you need to sometimes step back and relax and
If the speed that you throw is working, like you say, if it's bang bang bang, when you're getting a 180, everyone's like, that's incredible that you throw that fast. When it's like slightly more all over the place, that's when the criticism
And that's
comes
where
in, right?
that's what the Sky presenters always say. When his 180s are going in, like you said, the big scores, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing better than what, in my opinion, than a me, a Van Gerwen, when they're in full flow, Gary Anderson, because they're just rat-tat-tat. But when it's a bit, it's not the best. It looks a bit messy, and it's like, does this guy still play darts? Or it's just, yeah.
Like, with that first start, how do you set yourself for the first start?
I always aim for the top wire of the treble, because a lot of your darts tend to pull. So like if you're me personally, I always go below. So aim for the top wire of the treble. If it goes in, like I said, they all should really go in. We're professionals at the end of the day. We're aiming for it all day in the practice room. But then if you're struggling, you're chasing around the board, your 19s, your 18s, your cover shots, and there's some days as well on the other side where you can literally throw underarm backwards and they're going to go in. It's just like, I guess it's the same as every sport. You know it's going to go in, and it's just some days, it's not. It's just weird. It's just a stupid head game.
What about your body though? Like, because I think I'm terrible, but I always find it hard to set myself for the first throw. I'm always kind of off balance. Like, what are you doing to make sure you're set for those three? Is that just natural?
I think it's just the same foot at the same bit. Yeah, I'm guessing your foot goes in different places every time. I don't really know. I'm never really look at the hockey. It's more of a foot's there. I know some people that have their foot over the hockey in like your pub leagues, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I know some people that don't even use the hockey. So it's like, and it's just weird. I don't understand it, and I don't understand when people go on the edge of them. I'm still amazed at people like Bunting, how he does that.
Yeah.
Literally, you're throwing across your body, because he's a across his body thrower, and he's throwing further than the actual distance, because he's not throwing from the centre.
Yeah.
Does the darts go in sideways? Or do
I think they go in like, a bit like that.
Yeah,
but it's like, I'm like, wow, fair play to you.
Yeah. And how important is rhythm? Because like, it's quite like a repetitive thing. Do you think that's a natural thing?
Has to be, yeah. It has to. Well, for me, my opinion, it is, yeah. Because if I'm stopping and starting every time, it's like, where's this first one going again? And like I said, the first start's always key with me, and that's why I like practicing on my own, because you get the same rhythm. I'm do about 20 minutes on my own, I get dizzy, because I'm just doing a rhythm. If I've got some couple of lads in front of me or whatever, and it's like, I need a bit of rhythm here, and it's a couple of slower throwers, more methodical, they get in your way a little bit. As much as I don't mind slow players, but yeah, it's just, I'd rather practice with fast players or myself.
But you see people that use that to their advantage, right? Because if they see you're in a rhythm, they want to slow that down.
As a boy, it affects me a lot. I've been known for like meltdowns before against proper slow players, and I'm like tutting, I'm like dragging my feet along the floor, like whacking the whatever tables there.
How do you combat it?
I think it's just respect. If they throw slow, they throw slow. It's nothing to. It's when they do it on purpose, maybe. Like, say if you know their games are fast. Say if Michael Smith went up to me and I'll be like, what are you playing at here, boy?
Yeah.
When it's someone, I'm trying to think of a slow player, like Sulevic or Mickey Mansell, or there's a few good slow players on tour, and it's like they do it every time. It's not like they're trying to put me off. It's when you get the idiot in your pub league or your super league or whatever. I'm going to try and slow down Ricky Evans. Well done, mate. Do what you do. The only person you're affecting is your own game. It's you're trying to kid a kidder in a way. You ain't going to slow me down.
And then for people that are just getting into playing darts, like, I guess it's natural for you, but would you recommend throwing fast or
whatever feels comfortable?
Yeah.
I don't think two people throw the same in the world. So if you hold a dart with your thumb and your pinky, just throw it.
Yeah.
if that's what you feel like's comfortable for you, throw it. Like I know some people that throw with their left foot on the hockey and they throw right-handed. It's like, that's just doesn't make sense. That probably does need working on. But it's just if you hold it every single finger on your dart, do it. If you want to take your time, whatever comes natural, whatever feels good as well.
Last one on the speed. Have you ever thought about what your darts name would be? Like what you'd like to call yourself if you weren't bestowed Rapid Ricky Evans for throwing?
I don't know. I used to be like the Pocket Rocket as a kid, and obviously, if you could fit me in a pocket now, you do well. Speedy Gonzalez. I don't really know. There's a few that like my manager's probably got a few like censored ones that he'd probably call me fat boy or something. I don't know. I don't mini pie man. I don't really.
Mini pie man.
There's a few. I've got a few nicknames, but none of them be darts related. I was Swampy with my first ever year on tour, but that was just because I fell in a ditch. Drunken. that was just because I fell in a ditch, and rapid wasn't even a word I thought of. Yeah, it was just Swampy Evans. Nothing because I smelled or I wasn't a.
Imagine if that had stuck though.
Oh, Swampy. I'm sure I've got the shirt at home. I got to the World Youth final. I was Swampy.
If you've got that shirt, please send us a picture.
I will find it.
I'd love that.
I must have it in the loft somewhere. Yeah. Swampy Evans. It was just like a little splat of like goo as the logo on the back. People generally thought, is it because you have body odour or sweat? I'm like, no, I just fell in a ditch drunk one weekend. And then the next day I won the tournament, and then Swampy.
That's great.
And I'm glad I've got rapid. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think Swampy would go down well at Ali Pally, but
yeah. Let's talk about Ali Pally. Let's get into the career chat. But there's a few things that I really need to know from that. When you're backstage, do you watch those games?
It's on the TV, yeah. I sometimes watch it. I'll have my earphones in. I'll have my Spotify going, listening to whatever rubbish I've got.
What are you listening to?
I'm a music buff. I love music, love it. So I've got everything. You name it, it's on there. There's probably, I could have Scooter on, then I could have Elvis. Then, I don't know, Shawadi Wadi would pop up.
Yeah.
And the Bee Gees.
Are you a big, like, stick it on shuffle and let's let it
stick
happen?
on shuffle.
Yeah.
If Celine Dion comes on and I'm bawling my eyes out, I'm bawling my eyes out. Yeah. Then a bit of, I don't know, techno comes on, I'm bouncing back up again. It's just it's just a part of the...
So you got your headphones in when you're backstage. Does everyone do that? Do they get in the zone?
There's quite a few of us. Yeah, quite a few of us keep ourselves to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you said, Ali Pally, I was the same... I used the same cubicle every time, every day. It's
nice.
Like if people were in there, I had to wait because I was just superstitious like that. It's just a weird thing I did. Obviously, it did work, but it was just a thing I did. It was just I had to sit at the same table, same practice board.
Yeah. And can you get that if you wait about? You can get that. And
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just because like you said, I was first on the first game, so literally there was no one there. I don't think the cleaner had left yet. Yeah. The time I got there. And then the last two games, I was last on, so everyone had pretty much gone.
Oh, right.
So it was like I had a choice of seats, boards, everything. So.
Who's most up for a chat?
What do you mean, like?
Like when you get...
Banter, bit of banter,
yeah,
a bit of that.
Yeah.
Bunting's a good lad. Chisnell.
Yeah.
They're just proper pub dart players. They've gone good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of people that don't. We all get on. We're all like a big family, really.
Yeah.
We see each other more. We see our families at home. So, like your Cullens, your Aspinalls, they're all giving each other rubbish and bit of banter. I'm going to beat you on the board. I'm going to beat you on the board.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear
Liverpool lost or United are losing. Stuff like that. It's just like
getting the ribs.
Everyone just they do. Oh, Van Gerwen loves it. He dishes it out.
Does he?
Yeah, he'll give you rubbish. And I'll post a picture on it, Twitter or something once. I think I was in a cheerleader outfit, fancy dress. I think I played him in. It was a European tour somewhere, and he come up to me, and I was like, oh god, Michael's coming up to me. It's not like I'm not going to go. Oh. He just went. He never really comes up to me. I'm like, what the hell did you wear that? What? Wearing that pink dress? Oh, no. You look like a right twat. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, cheers, Michael. And then, I think he dicked me 6-0 after that. I was like, oh, cheers, yeah.
That's good.
But he tried it. He was like, oh, do you remember when we played in the youth? Because I used to play against Michael when he was at the Netherlands team. I thought he was going to talk with that. No, he just, why did you wear that pink dress or whatever it was?
Because I've seen the picture of you, right? I think you posted it of you guys looking really young. It was like probably a film camera picture of like in front of a board. So you used to play against each other.
My first ever game for England youth was against Michael Van Gerwen. His first ever game for Netherlands youth was against me.
How'd you get on?
40. I lost 3-1.
3-1.
At the time, he had hair. He was probably this weight. he was huge.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even like known. He was just this lad from Holland or whatever. And I was just a wee shy boy that didn't know what darts. Well, knew what darts were, but didn't know who Michael Van Gerwen were.
Was there a buzz about him at the time? Because I know he.
He was. If you're in the Netherlands team as a boy, you're a good player because they live and breathe darts over there. It's gone huge since Barneveld won whatever he did. the 4 lakesides. I think he created like a few monsters out there, and he wasn't even the Dutch number 1. There was a lad called Johnny Nice was Dutch number 1. He won the whole thing that year, but then I think the following 2 years Michael stepped up number 1, and ever since then he's been the green monster that he is. But like I said, my first ever game, drawing Michael van Gerwen, some random board in Holland, and I was like, who's this? Who's this old boy?
Yeah.
And yes, like 19 years ago now. Yeah. No, 20 years this year.
One more backstage question. What are you doing to get warmed up? Are there any games that you play, or do you play against each other?
All depends who's on the session, I guess. If I've got a friend on there, like if I'm not playing Gurney, maybe a Jamie Hughes or Bunting or something. I'll have a few 1-2-1 games, a few double games.
Yeah.
Just silly games to keep your arming, really. You're not really aiming in a way. You
No.
just get an arming.
Moving, yeah. And what about if you're on your own?
Oh, if I'm on my own, I just play 501s, or I do certain things like your 1-2-1, your checkouts again. It's more when I'm on my own. It's more serious as well. You're not messing about like doing silly games for 50p or whatever it is. But yeah, it's just concentrating a bit more, and the music turns up a bit more then, so you don't listen to overhear people's conversations.
Yeah.
I like to keep my own board then. I'm on my own. If I'm practicing with someone, earphone will be on silent or whatever, and I can chat. But if I'm on my own, get my own board, get my music blasting.
Yeah. This is the stuff that I've been desperate to know. Yeah. So it's so good to hear what happens. Yeah.
It's not glamorous, but it's just
no.
It's one of them.
But it's life, isn't it? Yeah. We've got some questions we've been sent by fans of the podcast. So
go for it.
Super Liam wants to know, who is your favourite player right now?
Favourite player? I know I beat him, but Aspinall's a good. I like the way he fights, and he's a bit of a battler.
Yeah.
Because his throw's not the same at the minute. I don't understand why or what, but I love watching him. He's just something about him. He's got probably the best walk on, Mr. Brightside. I like Chizzy. Chizzy's good for entertainment, 180s. And he's just look at him. He's brilliant. It's just
we love him. Yeah,
he's just the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy. Honestly, what you'd love to go for a beer with.
Oh yeah,
he's top notch. He's a great lad.
I'd love to.
And everyone that loses to me, I love watching. just let me win, please.
Okay. At Batfloke says, who is the opponent you most feared going up against?
I had a stage where Michael Smith was just a nemesis, because obviously we're the same age. Bit like the Van Gerwen of earlier, he was kind of on my team, Smith, so we didn't really, but we clashed so many times in youth events, and obviously when I joined the tour, and I could not, some days I couldn't get a leg, and I broke the seal. I beat him 6-0 in like a Munich event, beat Michael Smith 6-0. I was like, whoa. Yeah. And ever since then I've done okay against him since, but yeah, I just couldn't beat him. And there's still a few players now I can't, like Van Gerwen, I must be like 21-1 against, but I've won one. Yeah. No, I've still got one. It's on there somewhere. My Gerwin Price I've probably beat 5 times. He's probably beat me 55 times. It's just, there's certain players you can't lose to, certain players you just, ugh.
Yeah.
Why can't I just turn up against you? Yeah.
Kirsty asks, what is your best memory from your career so far?
Getting to the World Youth Final was good as a boy.
That 2013 against Michael Smith again, yeah.
At the O2, 10,000 people, literally, world fell out my arse. I literally never been so scared in my life. But yeah, my first ever time on TV, and the Whitlock, to come back against Whitlock was. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it gets spoke about enough personally. It's great, one of the greatest comebacks in darts. 2-0 down, 2 legs down, and he misses darts to win 3-0 zip. I'd be off stage crying or whatever. Oh well, we had a good time, and yeah, an hour later I've won the game in the deciding leg, and it's like, whoop. I wish I could bottle that up. That was generally the best I've ever felt as a dart player. That evening, I'd say, yeah, I was just like cloud 9. I don't think I'd ever sleep that night. I didn't. I was like, whoa, the phone was ping, 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 ping.
Jess Reeves said, do you think Luke Littler is going to dominate darts for a while?
I hope not. That means one of us might win, but he's more than capable. He's just got to It's just easy for me to say. He's won stuff, so but just keep himself grounded. He seems like he's got a good management and a good attitude. So only time will tell. But he's certainly got the game to, yeah, and he's got no fear, no scars, like Mardell says on the old punditry. He hasn't learned how to lose. So why would you be scared? And it's a little bit of jealousy there, isn't there? Oh, I wish I were doing that, but gotta work.
It's you though, when you were that age playing, when you talk about going up, stepping up with no fear, right? Because you're
not as a kid. You want to play Van Gerwen, you want to play Luke Humphries, and because you got nothing to lose. You're a kid. You're a little kid that you're not even a man yet. You can't even gamble. You can't even. It's like what? It's just like I think I tweeted it just before or when he won Woodsummit, and I was like, I was good at 17 or 16 years old, but wow, he's just mental. I think I was the best England prospect. Obviously in England, I was the best youth player in England, and I was nowhere near that standard. And it's like, whoa, how has he doing this? But fair play to the lad. Hopefully he gets a few runners-up trophies, and I'm the one that beats him.
Yeah, I'd love to.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Just one will do. Just
yes,
one trophy will do. But yeah.
Ben Taylor 433 said, "How do I aim? Am I looking through my hand or keeping my vision free?"
It's hard to, like I said before. It's just I'm terrible at these ones, by the way.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's just if you can see your dart, I think it helps. If your dart's in front of you, because you see so many people with their dart raised above their head, and it's like, how do you know what your dart's doing up there? I see so many people that throw their dart and it hits them, like their chin or that can't help. Yeah. So I'm guessing keep it in your eye line, keep your hands, as long as your body's straight, like a peacock. Extend your elbow, keep it all flat. It is better, but honestly, it is better. But it's how you stand as well. You've got to stand properly. Yeah. You can't be standing leaning back. You've got to be forward. You've got to look mean like you want to throw.
Okay.
Did you naturally extend?
That's how I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's just how I were, and it's just stuck.
So you didn't have to grind.
So I've never been been going through your coaches. You're looking at me throw in the mirror or whatever. Never really videoed it. I've always been raise your elbow, throw it, extend, throw fast. Yeah, it's just
I'm fucked.
I didn't want to say that, but
lucky for you, everyone else is videoing it for you.
Well,
so you don't need
exactly.
To. Final one from listeners. Tom D said, "I'd like to know whether you would recommend lighter or heavier darts, and what's the pros and cons of using a lighter or a heavier set of darts?"
I think lighter's got to be easier because it's just, if you're throwing constantly, you're not doing damage to your arm. I'm guessing wear and tear. I don't really know. I've always played with a light dart myself.
What's your dart weight?
I'm 19 grams, and I was 18 grams. So I've gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you see people like Ryan Searle, they do 32 grams, and it's just like, whoa. I'll tell you a big example. Bunting was 12s, and he's gone up to 18, I think, now.
Oh, right. Okay.
And a 6 gram difference is so much.
It's a lot,
he's throwing a bookie's pen at a board.
Yeah.
And he's gone up, and his form has changed so much. So I wouldn't say there's a right answer again, but maybe get the same set in both weights, and I don't really
have a little play with each.
I don't think there's a right answer. If you want to play with 48 gram darts and you enjoy it, do it. If you want to play with feathers, play with feathers.
I'd like to leave the listeners with something to take away to practice on their own. Are there any practice games that you play on your own that work for you?
Like you do your 1-2-1s in 9 darts.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
talk
ever
us through it. Yeah.
So like you start on a number. If it's say 1-2-1, you can start on 100. You can start whatever your level is. If you want to start on 200, do it in 9 darts. It's easy as that. If you miss, go down 5. If you hit, go up 3. Make it like so you don't do the same numbers every time. So say if you hit it, you go up 1, and if you miss, you go down 1. You're going to be stuck on the same number every time. So do it. I do a thing of 1-2-1. If you hit it, you go up 10 or something.
Okay, yeah.
And if you miss, you go down 1. So then you're getting different finishes. But if you hit the finish in 3 darts, when you miss, you go back to that one. If it makes sense.
Okay.
So, but you can do stuff like how many 20s can you hit consecutively in a row? So like we do a thing of 500. If you get like 20, 20, 20, you're on 60. If you hit treble 20, 20, 20, it's 160. If you hit 25, you're back to 0. You just got to that keeps you straight, That's a hard game. There's a doubles game we play. It's brutal.
Go on.
If start on 1, obviously. If you go inside, you're back. If you hit double 1, you go to 2, obviously. If you go inside, you go back to 1. And it's just inside. That means it keeps you outside the board.
Yes.
But if you go 1 dart in, you have to go back a number. It's like...
It's great practice though, because then you're just, you can adjust yourself from outside, inside you're done.
There's so many players have so many things. I like to do my checkouts. My scoring's always going to be there. It's just the finishing part of it, and you're setting up shots. And just, like I said before as well, it all depends who you're with. If you're playing with mates of the same standard, try and pick something that gets you both like winning. So like you don't want someone to dominate. If someone's very good at ball, you don't play first ball 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
If someone's very good at 180s or treble, someone can't finish, you're probably best not playing checkout matches with him. But yeah, it's only one way to learn. It's practice. It's practice as much as you can. Yeah. So I still do, and I'm still learning.
Ricky, thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.
This has been great. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
So there we go, that's episode 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping I've learned something from this experience to add to my game too, but if not, I got to meet an absolute legend of the darting world. As I said earlier, follow along to this feed for more episodes and go look for Seeing Double Darts on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok so you can see what we got up to, and I'll see you next time.